Welcome to this video on body fluids and circulation. In this video, we will learn about the circulation of blood and the evolution and various functions of the heart. Have you ever noticed that when you accidentally cut your finger, it bleeds for a while and then stops? This process is related to blood coagulation. Let's discuss it. When there is injury to a blood vessel, platelets release factors that initiate the clotting cascade. Thrombokinase is released, converting prothrombin to thrombin in the presence of calcium ions. Thrombin catalyzes the conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin. Fibrin forms a thread-like mesh that traps blood cells, leading to clot formation. This seals wounds and allows healing to begin. Let's now study lymph or tissue fluid. Plasma leaks through capillary walls into the space between cells, forming tissue fluid, which lacks large proteins and formed elements. This fluid is collected into lymphatic vessels where it becomes lymph. Lymph eventually returns to the bloodstream. Lymph is colorless and contains lymphocytes. It returns fluid to circulation, mediates immune responses, and transports fats from the intestines via lacteals. Let's move to circulatory pathways. There are two major types. Open circulation, where blood directly bathes tissues in open cavities, found in arthropods and mollusks. And closed circulation, where blood flows in vessels, found in annelids and vertebrates. Closed circulation is more efficient and controlled. Having just explored the circulatory pathways, blood, and lymph nodes, let's now study the evolution of the vertebrate heart. All vertebrates have a muscular, chambered heart. In fishes, there is a two-chambered heart with an atrium and a ventricle, and the heart pumps deoxygenated blood, which is oxygenated by the gills and then supplied to the body. This process is called single circulation. In amphibians and reptiles, except crocodiles, the heart is three-chambered, consisting of two atria and a single ventricle. The left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the gills, lungs, or skin, while the right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from other body parts. In crocodiles, birds, and mammals, the heart is four-chambered, with two atria and two ventricles. This structure ensures complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, allowing for efficient circulation. Oxygenated blood is received in the left atrium and pumped out to the body through the left ventricle, while deoxygenated blood enters the right atrium and is pumped to the lungs for oxygenation through the right ventricle. This is known as double circulation, where there are two separate circulatory pathways. Now, let's study the human circulatory system. The heart is a mesodermally derived organ situated in the thoracic cavity, between the lungs. It is slightly tilted to the left, protected by a double-walled pericardium containing pericardial fluid. Now, let's study the structure and function of the heart. The heart consists of four chambers. The left atrium, which receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. The right atrium, which receives deoxygenated blood from the body. The left ventricle, which pumps oxygenated blood to the body. The right ventricle, which pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. This four-chambered structure ensures the complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, allowing for efficient circulation. The heart has chambers separated by septa. The interatrial septum separates the right and left atria. The interventricular septum separates the left and right ventricles. The atrioventricular septum separates an atrium and ventricle on the same side. Each of these septa are provided with an opening through which two chambers of the same side are connected. Valves prevent backflow. The tricuspid valve controls blood flow between the right atrium and right ventricle. The bicuspid or mitral valve controls blood flow between the left atrium and left ventricle. Semilunar valves are at the openings of the ventricles into the pulmonary artery and aorta. Let's move to nodal tissue and heartbeat regulation. The sinoatrial node or SAN is located in the right atrium and initiates the heartbeat, acting as the pacemaker. The atrioventricular node or AVN receives the impulse and delays it. The AV bundle or bundle of His transmits the impulse to the ventricles. Purkinje fibers spread the signal throughout the ventricles. This system ensures synchronized and rhythmic contractions of the heart. The SAN is capable of generating the maximum number of action potentials, which is about 70 to 75 per minute. It plays a crucial role in initiating and maintaining the rhythmic contractile activity of the heart. This is why it is referred to as the pacemaker. Typically, our heart beats 70 to 75 times per minute, with an average of 72 beats per minute. Let's now study blood circulation through the heart. Blood from the body, low in oxygen and high in carbon dioxide, enters the heart through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava into the right atrium. From the right atrium, the blood moves through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. Next, the blood passes through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery and travels to the lungs for oxygenation. In the lungs, the blood gets oxygenated and returns to the left atrium via the pulmonary veins. It then moves through the bicuspid valve, or mitral valve, into the left ventricle, which pumps the oxygenated blood through the aortic valve into the aorta, supplying oxygen to the body. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for NEET. Thank you.